Audio. I wanted to do a bit of a continuation, or I suppose not as this is. I suppose it is a continuation to a degree, but I wanted to talk a bit about that last video that I uploaded, which don't know, I don't have my phone. Oh, there it is. Yeah, like people could quite easily get the wrong impression of that video. So that one was advising, Mongo, investing wisely in you and your. I'm going to start talking. Don't shut up. You and your interests. See, that's how well I even know the video titles. Anyway, but I get that for the most part, people could be under the impression that, or maybe I've got the right asshole because I'm upset, right? Over relationships. Now, the truth behind that video, relationships hasn't actually been an issue for me. I'm disappointed at the lack of talent, as it were, when it comes down to availability of women and everything, and air quotes, what they bring to the table and all of that, and their own personal expectations and stuff. But that's an aside, and that's what happens when you don't put your phone on silent. Sorry about that. Anyway, so yeah, it's with the relationship side of things, it's more disappointment. It doesn't actually make me angry. The reason I've been angry, or I was angry, should I say, in that video, I was quite fired up. And I was fired up again earlier before. This is like the third video that I've done this evening, talking about this topic and what was actually going on. Because you see, some relationships, I'm talking partnerships, relationships, intimacy, that sort of a thing. You see, sometimes they kind of start out good. And then over an amount of time, like you stop putting your best foot forward for the other person, and you both stop making the same effort that you did when you initially met, and the honeymoon period has waned off and all of that. And then you start to see what you're really like, like how you actually are, the way you've been prior to meeting this person. I think it's kind of a natural thing, like, because we know a lot of the time, I'll speak for myself here, I get that there's a lot of like chicks on dating apps that aren't going to choose me, right? I get that, because me and my lifestyle is like literally on the complete other side, 180 of their way of life and lifestyle and their hobbies and interests and everything. So that's an aside, and that doesn't bother me. That's just the way things are. You see, what was really going on, or what has been really going on. I don't really often talk a great deal about work. I have done in the past, or at least made references to scenarios and situations which are relevant for whatever video I was using them in. But you see, in the same as when you are in a relationship, right, or in this case, when you're working for a client, and you're doing your absolute damnedest to try and deliver a quality service for them. In the same way, in a relationship, you're trying to make them see the value in you. But when the other person, or the other party, as the case may be, just seems to like be constantly making snarky remarks and sniping at you, and then using the guise of banter and stuff like that, and you got other shit going on, and it's that thing. It's like they'll want you to hear about their woes, but when it comes to any woes that you might have, including that of how you are feeling in a certain situation, like saying in a workplace, for argument's sake, you can still get that dynamic of being the black sheep. You're going to have the golden child, you're going to have the enabler, And then you're going to have the actual, in most cases, the borderline narcissistic piece of shit that is just a fucking oxygen thief, right? I'm just saying, right? I don't like these people at all because of what they do and how they treat other people. They're just bullies that unfortunately never get held to account for what they do and the way they treat other people. And what makes it worse is when there's never an apology for it either. You know, what you might get in some cases is like what could be referred to as treats. You know, well, it's that thing of, it's their way of saying, well, I've been a bit of a twat to you all week, so here, have some chocolate so you can forget about it, but I'm still going to do the fucking same thing again. And that is the cycle, and that is their mentality. It's like, yeah, just buy them chocolate because whatever, you know, sweeten them up because I've been an absolute cock juggling thunder cunt all week, and now they absolutely fucking hate me. And you know, to make things right, I'll buy them chocolate, and that makes everything go away. And it's like, no, bitch, it doesn't. No, well, what you can do is load that chocolate full of laxatives, and then you can use it as a suppository on yourself. How about that? How about that? You know? But this is what I'm saying. These people, they don't know. It's sort of quite funny. Because this is what I was actually wound up about in the video. It's just I see this happening, and it seems to be happening all over the place. And just some places just worse than others. It's like, is there not a place left on this land that just hasn't been contaminated with borderline toxic narcissistic bullshit? Like, without some of these fucking assholes, just complete oxygen thieves, you know, working there and making everyone else, literally everyone else's lives harder. And in some cases, for some individuals, if you're the black sheep, making it hell for no real particular reason other than fuck you reasons. This is just it. And like I say, when you compare that, you know, when you're in a relationship with someone like that, like I'm talking like air quotes intimate, or as intimate as you think you're going to be, it's like, it's going to be one-sided intimacy. And if you're the empathetic, sympathetic type, it will be you, right? You're just a means to an end. You're just a tool to them, right? For whatever reason, whether you're the mobile cash machine, or whether you're just their piece on the side, but in the meanwhile they're seeing other people, and you know, call them out on it, and then, you know what I mean, don't make it like it's your fault or something. It's sort of like, nah, it probably wasn't your fault, you know, that's just the way they are. But then there's that thing of also that usually gets said in these scenarios of like, don't take it personally. Now, sometimes even that, it's like, how can you not take things personally when they're not treating anyone else the same way as you're being treated, for argument's sake? You know, in terms of a relationship where they've got more time and energy and everything else, it seems, for their friends or people that they consider to be their friends, rather than their actual partner. I'm just saying. And then when you call them out on it, it's like, oh, I'm just busy, or I'm just doing this. It's like, yeah, me, you narcissistic thought. Just go and drink bleach. Just do that. Just go away. Just fuck off. I'm not suggesting anyone drink bleach, by the way. It's obviously got harmful. If you read the labels, you know, it'll tell you why you shouldn't do it. So I'm saying you shouldn't do it. At the same time, with saying that, these people sometimes, they, you know, when they bring out the worst in people, and this is something that more often than not I think makes the news, like guys losing their shit. And I'm not saying that there aren't bad people out there, aren't bad men out there, okay, we know that there are. On the other hand, sometimes I wonder exactly, you know, were they actually bad men to begin with, or has this been a progressive thing over the years that then one day they snapped? And if, you know, you got to remember, a lot of this bullshit that goes on is very covert, right? It's not as although it's blatantly in your face and there for everyone to see. Like anyone that calls them out, they'll just be, oh yeah, no, oh yeah, it's just banter. Oh, we're just messing about. Oh yeah, no, we like to have a laugh here. But it's like in the moment they knew what they meant, and they knew exactly that the other person knew what they meant as well. And then, like I say, when some of these guys eventually do lose their shit, it's like, oh yeah, this is what men are like. Men are bad, and it's like, yeah, you don't think for a second that there might have been like stuff leading up to that event. I'm just saying, right? You know, like I've always said, it's like I don't believe for a minute that a rational, sane man just wakes up one day and thinks, fuck it, I want to go and commit these heinous acts because reasons. You know, just off a whim. No, I think more often than not it's because they're in situations that they can't see a way out of. And, you know, rather than going and getting help or trying to seek some, you know, now by help, that can even mean leaving a toxic relationship or leaving a toxic workplace, you know, both of which are helpful to the individual because you're moving yourself away from that bullshit that really none of us want in our lives anyway. We sure as hell don't need it. I sure as hell don't need it. And I'll tell you what, it's that thing of like, I deserve better. It's like, yeah, I actually do, in so many ways, deserve better than the way some of the people that I've met in my lifetime have treated me. You know, whether they have been clients or whether they've been a partner at some point, you know, romantic. It's just it. It's like, you know, and that has been more what I've been wound up about, and what I was wound up about prior to doing that video. But you see, the more I've thought about it, and the more, you know, relationships these days just, you know, dating seems to be like an interview, and the relationship just seems to be a job. And who wants that, man? Like, really, it's like, I get there's such thing as labour of love, but at the same time, there's only so much you should put up with before it's like you call it a day. And I think maybe you know, in terms of relationships, a lot of guys are quite scared that they won't find someone else. And in terms of employment, it's sometimes, well, maybe, you know, you got that to bear in mind. It's like, you know, do you just put up with this sort of bullshit, you know, or you just gonna what, like, until one day you become that statistic because of someone else. And you know, the thing is, they never get called out for their bullshit, right? They're always, yeah, the sweet innocent individual that never did nothing wrong, the didn't do nothings of the world, you know, the narcissistic pieces of shit. They know full well what they do and how it affects other people, you know. And then, like I say, if anything does come to the worst case scenario where violence is used, you know, they're lapping out with the victimhood. So you can't, you know what I mean, as the black sheep, as it were, you can't win for fucking losing, you know. All you can do is really there is make a situation worse by staying. Just saying, right? Anyway, look, I'm going to wrap this one up. So I just wanted to clear that out because it's like, it's not that I've got like this massive thing against relationships. It's like, no, a bit disappointed. But the truth of what was going on in that video had less to do with romantic relationships and dating than what I made it out to be. You know, the problems I was talking about are actually different. I was just fired up, and it was just something to aim for. You know, being and I guess that is kind of playing into anyone that is like, oh yeah, see, you're all the same, man. It's like, no, I'm actually explaining what the fuck was going on. You know. But anyway, look, I'll wrap it up. So thoughts, comments and opinions, feel free to jot them down. Thank you all for watching, listening, whatever it was you were doing. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all of that jazz. Till the next one, stay cool, stay free, stay away from toxic. Peace out.